And Laura, it's time for you, and we would love to hear it out from Laura coming in here. But before that, I would just request Smita ma'am to introduce Laura for us, uh, for our members, so that we know what Laura is, what she does in Malaysia. So, ma'am, over to you.
Yes, thank you. So it's a pleasure and honor introducing Laura here. So Laura is an experienced social media marketer and personal branding coach with a passion for helping brands and individuals in maximizing the power of social media for their business and or career. And we know how social media has become so important in our lives now, and that's where Laura adds her value. In less than 1 year, Laura went from freelancer to the founder of Our Stories Lab with a team of 6 through building her personal brand on LinkedIn. By crafting a solid branding and storytelling strategy, she managed to attract sales leads and collaborations with accelerated sales growth from 1 to 8 clients. That's credible, Laura, in 1 year. This generated thousands of dollars for her business. Laura has also featured as top 70 rising personalities in LinkedIn Malaysia by marketing in Asia. Some of the brands who have trusted Laura with their stories include Taylor's Education Group, Sono Mattresses, Ace Power Group, Flip, and Mako Events. So I'm sure these are big names in Malaysia. And this also includes building personal brands for public personalities like Pandelela Rinong and Sam Sui. So probably you can introduce us to them, Laura. Apart from social media management, Laura has also trained over 300 entrepreneurs, corporate employees, and job seekers in building successful personal brands on LinkedIn. And now she will be sharing all that knowledge with us. So, to you, Laura.
Thank you, Smita, for that wonderful introduction. So, good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Yeah, if you're doing great, just give me a thumbs up. A virtual one will be good enough for because it's a Zoom meeting, right? So we just got to make do with it. But yes, it's such a pleasure to meet all of you here today. Thank you for inviting me, Ganjan. Right, I'm super excited to be sharing about personal branding and as well as linking with you guys. Now, since it's my first time meeting all of you, how about you just do a quick introduction about yourself in the chat section, right? So in the chat, let me know your name, what you're currently doing, and perhaps what is one thing that you hope to learn about personal branding today, right? So just keep it short and sweet, right? We're just going to take 1 or 2 minutes for this. I would just like to get to know some of the faces here behind the screen, right? Your name, what you do, and one thing you hope to learn from today's session. You can drop it in the chat section right now as I proceed to, share my screen and prepare the slides, okay? So I'm going to start by sharing my slides. Okay, I'll just take a quick look at the chat section right now. Oh, okay, not sure why is it not coming out. That happened with Zoom recently. Maybe Ganji, you can read it out for me, right? I'm not too sure why is the chat section not popping out. That happens with Zoom sometimes with some glitches.
Okay, so we have a couple of things coming up now here. We have Mr. Nilesh Devte. He's into website development and he wants to learn about how he can improve his brand and social media presence. Uh,
Okay.
we have a chat from Smita ji also coming in. She is into career counseling and life coach. And for
Okay.
her, the objective would be to get direct leads from social media.
Hmm.
Similarly, I have a chat coming up from Vindaji here, and she is into manufacturing of paper-based air fresheners. And the objective for her is, how can she showcase her products through social media? We also have
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Rajesh. He's into building tech businesses, and his objective is what he have written is influencing masses and contributing their lives positively. Quite an
Yep.
inspiring one, Rajesh ji. Thank you. We also have Rohit Khalatkar ji here, who is into exports and especially onto the platforms like Amazon. And for
Yep.
him, the objective that he have laid for himself for with personal branding through social media is get corporate customers. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Harpreet is into construction and he want to learn how to increase my contacts globally. So these are some of the messages. I think others
Okay.
will also would have been typing by now, and they will, as and when it comes, I'll let you know.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So thank you so much for participating. That is something that I hope to get throughout the sharing session. So you will not just hear from me. We try to make this session as interactive as possible, because we have a small group here. So I would like to get to know you more personally. And, if I could help you address some of the issues or challenges you may have, please feel free to do so after my sharing session. But first, I want to wish you all again a very good morning. For those of you who just joined in, welcome. Right, today I want to speak about a topic that is very close to my heart, and that is on personal branding. Specifically, how can you build a brand called you, right? Personal branding may or may not be new to some of you, right? But if it's completely new to you, don't worry. That's what we're going to be focusing on today. And we're going to explore how you can utilize the power of personal branding as well as social media, right? To not just, attract business opportunity, but also help you to establish your influence online, create opportunities, open up networks, right? And so forth. But first, I would just like to do a quick introduction about our Stories Lab. So our Stories Lab is the name of my company, right? And you might be wondering, who are we? So you can call us as professional storytellers, right? Whereby we help you as business professionals to utilize the power of your story, right? To curate content and curate value online so that you can establish your presence online, create influence as well as attract opportunities for your business or your career. To date, we have already empowered over 500. So Smita read the previous number, which is 300. Our number has been updated. It is now over 500 entrepreneurs, corporate employees, as well as job seekers in building successful personal brand on LinkedIn. And since they have developed a successful brand, we have seen a lot of our participants, increasing their presence online, increasing their network as well as their net worth, and also increasing opportunities for their businesses. And today, we're super excited to be sharing that with you. On top of public programs, we also do corporate trainings, right? So these are some of the brands which are probably more familiar to Malaysians. Some of the brands that we have partnered and trained together with them to teach their communities on how they can, establish a personal brand for themselves, regardless of their objective, right? Personal branding is something that, it works very well for you depending on what your objective is. And for business owner, like Dungeon has mentioned, is something that you really want to think about, especially if you are the face of your business. But first things first, I want to ask the group here this morning, right? Do you actually know what a personal brand is? So type in the chat section right now. What does personal branding mean to you? There's no right or wrong, right? Open discussion. Let's talk about it. Could you just drop it in the chat section right now? What is a personal brand? Okay, so Ganjan, if you could assist me, that
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
great.
I'll surely do that. I was just waiting for something to pop up. So somebody, Mr. Nilesh, have written its perception about you. So in other
Okay,
words, I
great
may say how
answer.
the world perceives about you, how it looks at you. Okay, and waiting for others. I'm seeing fingers going very fast on the keyboards, a lot of them. Okay, yeah, it is coming up now. Mr. Harpreet is saying it tells about your company.
Mhm.
Making yourself effectively visible is what Vindaji have said. Uh, Name, face, values, which represents you is what Smitaji have written. So quite different perspectives coming in here.
Mhm. Great. So thank you so much for
Self-confidence and
your
personality.
personality. Okay.
People will follow you and then your products as well. So this is what Mr. Yashwantji have
Yeah.
written. So
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for your participation. And all of these answers that you are mentioning here are actually the representation of what personal brand is. But one of you said it very well, right? Essentially, a personal brand is the image and perception that others have about you. What is the image and perception that you are creating about yourself, right? For your business today. Okay, and where do this image and perception come from? It is a combination of the words you say, the topics that you speak about, how you present yourself, right? So it is a combination of many, many things. And all of these things that you do, you speak, right? The topics that you discuss, all of this is what form the image and perception that others have about you. Now, my next question to you is, right? Are you currently managing that image and perception of yours? Or are you just leaving it as it is for people to just think whatever and whatever they want to think about you? All right. Now, this is something you really want to think about because this is a famous quote that is spoken by CEO of Amazon. His name is Jeff Bezos. He says that your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. Now, guess what? If you are not managing that image and perception, just imagine what people will start to think about you, right? Sometimes it could be just as simple as, oh, they don't even know you start a business, or they don't even know you're currently doing this, because that is the image and perception that you have been creating. But sometimes it can go even further, right? So it's very important that we start thinking about managing the image and perception about ourselves, right? So that we are the ones to control what others think about us. And when we have that kind of control, this is something that we can channel to our business and help us achieve our business objective. Now, when you manage your personal brand well and do it well online, well, these are the things that you can start to reap the benefits, right? With a strong and solid personal brand, number one, you can create more visibility and presence. Someone mentioned this earlier, right? Visibility and presence is something that's very important for us as business owners. If no one has heard about our amazing product or the amazing services that we have, well, then no matter how amazing your product or service is, people won't engage with you. People won't buy from you because they have not heard about you, right? So that is why visibility and presence is very important to create. And someone also mentioned that people will follow you first before they buy your product. Very true, right? That's why visibility and presence is the number one thing we want to think about to establish as a business owner. The second thing is, when you have a strong and solid personal brand, you can position yourself as a leader in your industry. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you are running a business, right, you always have the mindset that you are the best, correct? Right? My product is the best, my service is the best, I'm the expert in the industry. But how true is it? Do people believe in this? Do people trust you as the best in the industry? Well, this kind of trust will not just pop out of nowhere. It's something that you have to develop using the power of your personal brand, right? So as you continue to build a solid and personal brand for yourself, you are also building trust with your audience so that they believe you are the leader. They believe you are the best in your industry. Okay? Consistent sales and inbound leads. Now, isn't this what most business owners want to read out of social media? Right? Now, there are many ways that you can get leads on social media. We have this thing called outreach and inbound leads, right? But when you have a strong and solid personal brand, you don't always have to go and chase for clients. People will start looking for you, right? And don't you all want that for your business, right? You don't have to keep constantly do cold calling or do cold email, but people are the one reaching out to you. But of course, before they have the confidence to reach out to you, you need to have a strong and solid personal brand. Okay? The fourth benefit of having a strong and solid personal brand is it will enhance your net worth and self-confidence over time. Currently, if you don't have a strong and solid personal brand, are you confident that you are really the leader in your industry? Are you confident that you are the best provider for your customer, right? Well, of course, you can base that off, customer testimonials and all, but you yourself as the leader in your company, right? You need to portray that as well. And when you work on your personal brand, your own self-confidence and net worth will also see an increase. Okay, and the last but not least is attract the best business or career opportunity for yourself. For the case of business owner, it's really about attracting business opportunity. Sometimes it's not just about sales and leads all the time, right? As you build a presence online, you will start to see potential for collaboration, partnership, sponsorship, and so forth, right? Just like for the case of Ganjan, right? He is utilizing LinkedIn not just to get sales, right, but also to get, network and collaboration and inviting speakers over, right? And that's how, he got me over. But yes, it is true, the power of personal branding on LinkedIn, right? So, these are just some of the benefits and the power of what a strong personal brand can do for you. Okay, so now that you know what a personal brand can do for you, the next question that some of you might be wondering, where do I start building my personal brand? You can start on a lot of platforms. You can start offline, of course. You can start online on Facebook, Instagram. But if you ask me, if you ask what is really the best platform to start a personal brand for a professional reason, right? The platform that we highly encourage and we highly advocate is LinkedIn. Now, I'm just curious to hear from the floor. Why LinkedIn? Why do you think LinkedIn will be a great place to start your personal brand? So drop it again in the chat section. Again, no right or wrong. I just want to hear your opinion and thoughts. Okay, so right now in the chat, let me know Why LinkedIn?
It says people are professional and serious. That's the first question that's the first response that is here.
Yeah.
Okay, again, the second response is as well the same. Most professional social media platform. This is what LinkedIn is all about.
Yeah.
Let's hear it out from a couple of more people. A lot of genuine people compared to Facebook and Instagram. This is the one. This is one more answer.
Very true.
All are
Very true.
businessmen and professional networkers here on LinkedIn. Uh, Mr. Yashwant have written only professionals, no nonsense talks. And one is Vindaji is saying it is the best platform connecting professionals across the globe.
Yeah. All right, all these are super great answers, and you explained it very well why LinkedIn is the platform for you. Now, before I jump into my reasoning of why LinkedIn would be the platform for you, I just want to break this myth first, right? That LinkedIn is not just for the job seekers. You see, a lot of people, when you ask them what is LinkedIn to you, they will say, oh, it is for me to look for jobs, right? Or it is for me to upload my resume. Well, yes, that was how LinkedIn started. It was essentially created for recruiters to identify the best candidates. That was the initial purpose. But today, LinkedIn has evolved to be so much more, right? It is now a platform for people to connect. It is now a platform for people to learn from each other. And it's also a platform for people to exchange business opportunities. Like in my case, these are three reasons of why I would highly encourage someone like yourself, if you want to start a personal brand from scratch, these are three reasons of why you should start on LinkedIn. Number one, LinkedIn makes you more visible. Okay, visible to who? Well, visible to your ideal target audience. Did you know that there are about 675 million LinkedIn users globally? And you might be wondering, who are these users? Well, these users comprise of business owners like yourself, your potential clients, or teammates that maybe you want to hire eventually, or they could be partners, investors, sponsors, right? So someone mentioned earlier, it is genuine people, people who are here with a business and professional mindset. So when you are starting a personal brand for your business, you want to go to where your target audience is, right? Why waste your time on platforms where your target audience are not there? Okay, so as a start, choose LinkedIn because this is a place where there are 675 million LinkedIn users, and these are genuine people who are here for business. Now, why I can, confidently say that this is where your target audience is simply because this is how it has worked for me as well. When I officially registered my business early this February, I created content like this about my story of how I registered my business and also at the same time promoting my services. Look at the kind of views and impressions that I managed to garner from this LinkedIn post alone. It is close to 75,000 views. And out of these 75,000 views, a lot of this has translated into business opportunities. Okay, and maybe the next question I want to throw to you is this: when you put up a content on Facebook or Instagram, do you think that there is a chance for you to actually get this kind of views? Right? For those of you who have experimented with Facebook and Instagram before, you will know that this kind of views is really not possible unless you pay for this, unless you put budget behind it, right? Then you can achieve this kind of views. But these are the kind of views you can achieve on LinkedIn, and that is one of the great benefits of LinkedIn. They really reward good content, right? If your content is good, if your story is relevant to your audience, it touches them, it engages with them, LinkedIn rewards you with this kind of views and impression. And it's always good for you to get this kind of views and impression because remember, one of the benefit of personal branding is you want to get visibility, right? This kind of visibility you really cannot get on Facebook and Instagram unless you put ad budget into it. Otherwise, if you don't want to spend money on that, LinkedIn is a great place to start. Now, reason number two, LinkedIn makes you more connected. Okay. Now, as I mentioned earlier, LinkedIn is a great networking platform, right? And people are here to network for the same reason. They are here to network for business. Unlike in Facebook or Instagram, people go on those platforms for many other reasons, correct? They are there for funny videos. They are there to see updates from their friends and family. They are there to post pictures of the food they are eating, the places they are traveling to. So even though you may get a lot of followers on Facebook or Instagram, are they really here for that kind of reason? Are they really here because they are interested in your business? Are they here to exchange business opportunities, right? Whereas on LinkedIn, not only they can connect you with potentially 600 million users, but they could connect you with people who share similar mindset. People will hear who share similar goals, aspirations, and they are open to hear the business or service opportunities that you can provide for them. Right? In my case, connection was very important for me. Network was very important for me, especially when I first started off as a social media freelancer. As a freelancer, I'm not sure if any of you have tried this route before, but as a freelancer, you're pretty much on your own. And in order for you to get your next client, right, you cannot just rely on referrals by itself. Referrals are great, right? Your ex-client could refer you to another client, and usually the chances of conversion is really high. But the problem is referrals are really slow. And if you want to see scale, you want to see growth in your business, you need to find other ways for you to get more clients online. And that was essentially why I started on LinkedIn, right? Because as a freelancer, I knew that, if I want to scale, if I want to go far, I really need to put my presence online. And ever since I put my presence online as a freelance social media marketer, I started to see a lot of inbound leads from my connections. People started sending me messages like this. Hi, Laura. Can you tell me more about your brand building online services? Hi Laura, we need help for social. Hi Laura, we need help for content creation and social media. And out of the messages that you see here, the 3 messages, 2 of them actually became my client, right? And by the way, all of these people are not people that I know of in the physical space, so I don't know these people offline, right? But because I optimized my LinkedIn profile, because I built a solid personal brand on LinkedIn, these people discovered me, and they were the ones who reached out to me. Okay, so inbound leads is really something that you can benefit a lot when you brand yourself on LinkedIn. In fact, I actually got emails from LinkedIn directly, right? What I'm trying to say here is, this guy, Ernest, he actually said, I found your profile through LinkedIn. So he dropped me an email asking me for my social media management service, and he discovered my profile through LinkedIn. Now, how was he able to discover me out of nowhere, right? It is really through the power of personal branding on LinkedIn. And that's the beauty of LinkedIn. They connect you with your potential target audience. All right. Now, the third reason, and probably the most important reason of why you want to start your personal brand on LinkedIn is because LinkedIn makes you more trustable. Now, how many of you here can agree that trust is one of the most important factor when it comes to running a business, right? Why would your clients work with you? Why would your clients choose your service over your competitor? It's because they trust you, correct? They trust that you will do a better job. They trust that you have the capability to do what they need, or you have the capability to solve their pain point. Okay. Now it's easy to build trust with people that you know, right? Your offline clients, you have worked with them for 10 years, they refer you to the next client, they can trust you because your friend has put in a good word for you. But what about your online community, right? You're talking to hundreds and thousands of people. Are you able to build that one-on-one trust with the people that you do with offline? It's hard. It's really hard, right? You are only one person and there's only so much you can do. But when you have a solid and strong personal brand online, right, people will start to trust you. People will start to believe that, okay, you are the expert in what you do, right? You are capable, you have the skills, you have the knowledge, right? Now, does this trust come up in 1 day or in 2 days? Definitely no. Trust takes time, and same goes to your personal brand. As you work to develop your personal brand, you are at the same time working to develop a strong trust with your audience. Okay, now trust is something that has worked very well for my business, because that is the reason why I was able to grow my sales from 1 to 8 brands is in less than a year, right? This was really a big success story for me because I was really doing this a one-man show, as a freelancer. And by the way, I did not have much social media experience and portfolio to prove to my clients before they engage with me. But because they trust the things I say on LinkedIn, right? They engage with my content. They see the stuff that I'm posting makes complete sense. These were the trust they were able to develop with me. And because of that, they trust me with their brands, right? Now, besides growing in my sales, the brand that I have built online has managed to bring in a lot of collaboration and partnership as well, right? Like in my business, the reason why I was able to transition from a social media marketer to also doing personal branding coaching was because I also built a trust in this new area that I wanted to venture into. And because I was able to build that solid trust with my audience, this guy that you see here in the middle of of this picture, right? He engaged us to speak on a virtual digital conference that has about 20,000 participants. And usually he does not give this spot away for free, but because he really trusted us as, you know, the experts in LinkedIn and personal branding, he gave us a spot for free for 5 days to speak in front of an audience of 20,000, right? This was a digital virtual conference that was sponsored by the government as well. So it was a really big project that, you know, this guy in the middle, he couldn't just give this away for free, but because he really trusted in what we do, based on what we post online, right? He gave us that spot to speak on that space. And again, all of this was developed, right? Because I had a solid personal branding strategy. Okay, now how many of you here would like to learn one strategy or another on how you can develop your personal brand today? Let me know in the chat section right now. So drop me a yes in the chat section if this is something that you're really keen to explore in the coming year.
A lot of yeses coming in. Yeah, I think everybody is interested.
Cool. Okay, so one of the best ways on how you can kickstart your personal branding journey is really by building a solid LinkedIn profile. Okay, so a profile is something that you cannot ignore because this is the place where people would come and check out about who you are. So if you have only updated your profile once when you needed a job, well, let me tell you, this is the time for you to go back and look into it and start working on developing your LinkedIn profile. Now, building a LinkedIn profile is not just about updating every section, right? There is a lot more strategies that go behind it. And why a LinkedIn profile is something you really want to look and focus on is simply because when you optimize your LinkedIn profile, number one, it helps people to understand what you do. Okay, a lot of LinkedIn profiles that I see recently, it has too much information. It is too cluttered. Some people even put their work experiences when they are teenagers, right? So it's really information that are irrelevant, and some people don't update about the business that they are currently doing. So having a clear message about your LinkedIn profile is really important for business owners, right? Because if you want to attract opportunities, your LinkedIn profile needs to be so solid that when people land on your profile for 30 seconds, they completely understand what you do. Okay, so that is number one. Number two, it makes you more searchable. Now, did you know that LinkedIn is a very SEO friendly platform? Right? It's a very keyword driven platform. So now you want to ask yourself, did you optimize your profile with the keywords that you want to be discovered for? Right? If you didn't, then guess what? People will not be able to discover you. Right? People will not be able to find your services because your profile is not well optimized with the right keywords. Okay, so optimizing with the right keywords will help you to become more searchable and discoverable to new connections. Right? That was how I managed to get emails from LinkedIn, messages from random strangers. It's because I managed to optimize my LinkedIn profile with the right keywords. Okay. And the third reason is it helps you to leave a very good first impression. Now, first impressions are very important for business owner, especially when you are building a personal brand that represents your business. You have to make sure that your personal brand, your personal LinkedIn profile represents what you want your business to be represented as well. Let's just say you are promoting marketing service, right? I'm not sure if anyone here is promoting marketing service, but let's say your company is a marketing agency, right? Your website is beautiful, you know, you have this impressive case study from all your clients and all, but when your clients go and check out the founder's LinkedIn profile, you know, it's a picture from your teenage days, right? Your information was updated 10 years ago. Now, what kind of representation are you leaving about your company, right, with this kind of profile? So it's really important that, you know, your profile is updated because that helps you to leave a very good first impression. And last but not least, having a well-optimized profile helps people to take action on your profile. Now, you see, a lot of people don't see the value in LinkedIn is because they don't get any leads or any messages from there. But what they fail to realize is these messages will only come in when you have a convincing value that you can provide through your LinkedIn profile, right? A lot of profiles are designed in a way that is only, you know, to put out information, but it actually doesn't draw people to take action. So it's very important that as you optimize your LinkedIn profile, you want to make sure that there is a very strong call to action. Give people a reason to contact you. If they don't have a reason to reach out to you, then guess what? You will not receive any messages that you desire. Okay, now do we have a little bit more time, Gunjan, or are we running short of time?
How much time do you need?
I was just thinking if we could do a profile review with some of our members here, just one or two profiles, so we
Go
could.
ahead. Go ahead and do it. We have all the
Okay,
time
so
available, so not an issue.
all right. So does anyone here would like me to look through your LinkedIn profile right now? If you are, drop your LinkedIn profile links in the
Me.
chat section. Wow. Okay, Rajesh is really fast.
So everybody is gone now.
Okay, we only have time for one or two, right? So we will check out Rajesh one first, since he's the first one who dropped his LinkedIn profile link. So we will do this live together with you, okay? Now, Rajesh, I would like to invite you to unmute yourself so that I can get to better understand your purpose of being on LinkedIn. Rajesh?
Yep.
Okay, so what is your objective that you're trying to achieve on LinkedIn?
Yeah. Objective is to find the right audience for my skills so that I can grow my personal brand at the same time for my tech business.
Okay, so you are providing tech solutions.
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of solutions, if you may just explain in a word or
Yeah.
two?
First is the technology training, premium technology training. So that's one. That is the Docker and Kubernetes that you can see in the first line. And second is the providing the fleet management platform as part of unique GPS solutions.
Okay, okay. So based on my understanding, you are a tech service provider, okay? And you are looking for potential clients to engage your
Yeah.
services. Who are your target audience?
Yeah. The tech businesses, all the IT companies who are into the prime technologies, like cloud technologies.
Okay, I see. All right. In that case, my first impression of your profile, if I could be frank, is that I didn't know that you are providing tech services. Why? Because it is not stated in your headline, right? The
Okay.
headline is really a very keyword heavy platform, and this part is really important to optimize with the keywords that you want to be known for. So if you mention that tech solution is something that you provide and you want to be known for this, it's really important for that word to be included over here. Uh, currently, my first impression is that you're a doctor.
It's a
Brain
doctor.
upgrade
It's
specialist.
it's
That's my first impression. I was thinking, oh, maybe you're from the medicine and health industry. Now, this is not the impression that you want to be known for, correct? So that is something you first want to
yeah
look into it.
in the tech
Is there a reason
industry.
why you put here brain upgrade specialist?
In the tech industry, the latest trend is to upgrade the technology brain. So that means the
I see.
workforce of the technology, and the
Okay.
technology that I am engaged in the Docker and Kubernetes. That's the reason I have straight put in Docker and Kubernetes, because tech businesses or the tech services is too generic for me.
Yep.
So I wanted
Yep.
to be very specific, and that's the reason I put the Docker and Kubernetes.
Okay, I think there's nothing wrong to be niche and to be specific, but at the same time, you don't want to omit the keyword that really represents your industry, and that is tech or digital, right? Either one of these. Okay, so that even generic audience like me, when I land on your profile, I would get that understanding that okay, you are in this tech space and specifically brain upgrade, right? So don't omit the generic keywords. A lot of people are too worried about being generic, right? But what they fail to realize is people would use generic keywords to search for you, right? So if you omit that out completely from your profile, then you also become non-searchable and non-discoverable. So what we always advise our participant is when you optimize your profile, start generic and then niche down. Okay, there are many ways that you can go about it, but yes, one of the ways that you really want to consider is this. The second thing you want to take a look into is this space is empty, which is what a lot of people would ignore. They tend to ignore updating this empty space here with what we call as the LinkedIn banner. This is something that we teach in our program, how you can strategically utilize this empty space called your LinkedIn banner so that you can really give a clearer message and key takeaway for your audience when they land on your profile. Okay, now let's check out your about section. So senior technology executive for conceptualizing, executing strategic IT architecture, reducing million of dollar in IT expenses, successful in building vision. Okay. Um, Upgrading technology workforce. This is what I do on a deeper level by playing CTO brain upgrade specialist. Okay. Okay, certification, expertise, publication, internet profile. Now, Rajesh, I would say when I read this about section, number one, it really does show me that you are very credible, right? You have the experience, you have the certifications, you have the knowledge. So your technical skills is not something that I doubt, right? But the question now is, what is really lacking from this about section is really your story, right? Rajesh, why are you doing this business? Why are you passionate in this space, right? What makes you unique, right? That people should choose you over your competitor. Because I'm not too sure about how your industry works, but I believe that your competitors will also have this kind of certifications, at least some of them, right? So, if you want to look at technical skills, honestly, a lot of people will be able to compete with you, right? But what really sets you apart and what makes you different is your career story. What is it like working with you, right? Perhaps putting in some customer testimonial or customer wins will actually set you apart as well, right? As well as a strong call to action. What I realized that is missing from your profile is the call to action. So what should people contact you for? That is really the message that a lot of people miss out in their LinkedIn profile. Why should people reach out to you? Right? That is really something you want to think about. What is the one or two reasons of people should reach out to you? Okay, if you don't put it out for them, then people won't reach out to you because they also don't know what to do with this information. They'll be like, wow, this is great stuff. Rajesh is so professional. He has this kind of experience, but how can he help me? What kind of pain point can he solve for me? Okay, so that is a quick information that I can
Okay,
get from your profile.
the takeaway is that first is the story in the about me section, and second one is the call to action. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Got
Yes.
it.
So don't treat your profile like a checklist. A lot of people when they look at their LinkedIn profile, they just take it like a checklist. Oh, I've put a profile picture. Oh, I've written some headlines. I've done something in my about section. But when you do that, you become just the same like everyone else, right? Filling in the check boxes is something everyone can do. It's not hard, right? But what makes your profile stand out and to become memorable is when you add a story to it, right? And you create a nice consistent flow from the top to the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to check out the second profile, which is
Thank
Ganjan.
you. Thank you very much for your input.
Hey, no problem. Okay, so let's take a look at the second profile. Okay, so Ganjan, wow, very nice. Nicely done here. First impression. I would say the Empower Network branding is very strong. Ganjan, if you can correct me, your purpose of being on LinkedIn is really to promote the Empower Network, correct?
No, Empower as well as Synergies. I have three business verticals right now going on for me. So actually, I'm looking at LinkedIn from when I started. It started with Synergies. Synergies is a management consulting firm which I run. So that's the basic first impression. Empower is now coming in. So obviously, Empower also have joined in here.
Okay. Okay. So for Synergies and the other business that you do, can you tell me a little bit more about it?
In Synergies, it's a management consulting firm. We do process re-engineering and optimizations. We also look at end-to-end project execution for our clientele and import-export executions, rather more to be more precise.
Okay.
So that's what we do. First-time
Okay,
export
so
guidance and all.
all right. So what is the main thing that you hope to benefit for LinkedIn? Is it for us all business, right? Or if I can ask you to choose, which one will be your priority?
Synergies would be the priority to be. If you ask
Okay.
me as an individual, yes.
Okay. Okay. Let now that I have this information, that will help me to better analyze your profile. So you mentioned that you're a management consultant, so represent Synergies very well. Process re-engineering optimization expert, virtual presence management expert, management consultant, end-to-end execution expert, execution consultant, first-time export guidance, and you have your number here. Okay, first thing first, I would probably remove the number, right? Because this doesn't contribute anything to the SEO algorithm, right? This section is really driven for keywords, right? So putting in a number is not something that will benefit a lot. I would prefer to put the number somewhere, in the headline or the banner, sorry, in the banner itself, where, if people really want to contact you, they can pick up your number from there. Otherwise, I wouldn't waste the space here for number. The second thing I would say is, I know that you're trying to put as many keywords as possible, but for a first-time audience like myself, when I land on your profile, having too many keywords is actually very confusing, right?
Mhm.
So, Kanchan, if I can ask you, what is the one key takeaway about yourself or your business in Synergies? What will it be?
I think the first keyword that's there, process re-engineering and optimization.
Okay. Okay, in that case, I would advise you to keep to a maximum just three keywords. So re-engineering is one, optimization is one. The third one, choose a final one to represent yourself. Now, why I say that is because
Exim execution.
Okay, that could be it, right? Because when you have too many keywords, I know you're trying to maximize your presence on SEO, but at the same time, it confuses the audience, so they wouldn't know what you are doing at the end of the day, which is not what you want, right? Why are you creating a presence on LinkedIn? Is because you want people to know what you're doing. You want people to understand what you're doing, and when you're doing too many things, it confuses your audience, right? So choose your priority on LinkedIn and optimize your profile based on that. Okay, so now let's go to your about section. Thanks for looking at my profile. After a successful career in this, I have been an entrepreneur and currently managing 3 companies and 1 social entity. Okay, there's a very clear distinction. Great. Revolving perspective, giving back community, empower network, nurture business network, and classic record. Some of my specialty. Get in touch. Okay, now I would say that it's great that you actually segregate the different businesses that you have, but then again, I would like to re-invite you to think about what is your priority on LinkedIn. Okay, if you say that your priority is on synergies, I would probably advise you to expand on this a little bit more, and the others keep it shorter. Why? Because remember, you are here to achieve, you're not here to achieve everything, correct? Like in business, you don't always try to reach out to everyone and anyone. You always try to reach out to one specific group and audience first, and then from there, sell different services and products to them. So same goes as your LinkedIn profile. Choose your priority, focus your story on that one first. Okay, others you can still keep it there, no problem. Just keep it a bit more brief, right? And also the call to action. This is something that is also a little bit missing from you. I know you mentioned get in touch, but get in touch for what? Right? That is the thing that I want to ask you. Why should I get in touch with you? For what purpose? For what reason? Right? And then if you can also put in your number and an email, that would be the best. Okay, so I hope that gives you a bit more clarity, Ganjan.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah, and for those of you who I didn't have the chance to review your profile, because we're short of time, I would like to actually invite you to join our LinkedIn profile workshop, which is happening on January 16th. Right. So for those of you who you saw this benefit of updating your profile and you really want to see that happening for yourself as well, I would like to invite you to join our virtual group workshop. It's happening on January 16th, 2 to 5 p.m. It's a LinkedIn for beginners course, right? Teaching you how you can build a powerful LinkedIn profile. Now, in this course, we're going to touch on 3 things. It's a 3-hour workshop, so really a power-packed workshop with a lot of information where we will bring you through a step-by-step tutorial on how you can build and optimize your LinkedIn profile. Earlier, I was only able to touch on the very minor strategies with Ganjan and Rajesh, because of time. But in this workshop, we will go through step by step to really analyze your profile from the top to the bottom, teaching you strategies on how you can, number one, tell a very clear message about your profile, and number two, create a really call strong to action for your profile so that you get to reach out to the target audience that you desire. Okay, in this step-by-step tutorial, we will be covering how to create a linking headline and summary that makes you more visible. Right, so remember headlines that I talked about, it's really important to have optimized with the right keywords, right, so that you become more visible, and same goes for your about section. That is what we will be running through in this workshop. The third thing that we'll be running through is a LinkedIn SEO. Remember how I talked about LinkedIn makes you more searchable, right? So LinkedIn SEO strategies is something that we will dive into in this workshop as well. What kind of keywords do you use? Where do you place the keywords, right? So that in the end, you appear higher in searches than your peers or competitors. Okay, and most importantly is how to tell a story of you. Remember in Raj's case, right? He actually optimized his profile very well to talk about his credibility and his technical expertise. But at the end of the day, why would people remember a profile, right? Why would people remember you as a person? It is really because of your story. So storytelling skills and strategies is something we're going to touch on in this workshop as well, so that your LinkedIn profile is not just optimized to be, super technical and all, but it also has a story. Right? At the end of the day, it is story that what makes people resonate with your brand. Okay, so this course is open for business owners like yourself. We also have freelancers, corporate employees, and job seekers. But really, essentially, it is anyone who wants to have a very good first impression on LinkedIn. Okay, so any questions about this workshop so far from the crowd? That feel free to unmute yourself to ask the questions if you have, or drop it in the chat section.